So you want to be rich. You've seen every YouTube video on my millionaire morning routine or the top 10 side hustles to start in order to make money from the comfort of your own home. And all of the people that you follow on TikTok and on Instagram share pictures and videos of their incredibly luxurious lifestyle. If you clicked on this video, then chances are that you are part of the minority of people who are actually willing to do whatever it takes to build themselves a dream life. This is Marcus. Marcus slaves away 40 hours a week at a job he hates only to make ends meet. At the end of the month, he barely has any money saved up. He goes out to party, wasting all of his money on expensive bottles of alcohol in the hopes to impress some girls and to get laid. Whenever he's got some free time, Marcus spends hours upon hours scrolling on social media. He's seeing all of those guys in their early 20s making millions of dollars with an online business, living a crazy lifestyle and having lots of fun. Seeing all of that, Marcus starts to believe that he could have the same type of life that these guys are showing him. After all, if they did it, why could he not do it too? So Marcus decided to quit his job and to tell his demanding boss to fuck off. After watching countless videos on how he can start his own business using just a Wi-Fi connection and a laptop, Marcus decides that it's time to get started and to launch his own business. He picks the consulting business model because he understands the importance of having high profit margins, that is 90 to 95% profit margins, and low operational costs as a beginner. That way, if for some reason he's unable to get a client, Marcus won't have to spend so much money or to even get in debt in order to keep running his business. It could go 6 months without signing a client and be just fine. Now, if he had decided, on the other hand, to start a business like Amazon FBA or dropshipping, he would have needed to invest thousands of dollars, like $3,000, even $5,000 or more, into starting his business. He would also have to deal with shipping, with manufacturing, with client complaints, with refunds, stuff that a beginner should not have to worry about. The goal of Marcus is to get to $10,000 a month in profit as quickly and as efficiently and also as effortlessly as possible. For that very reason, he understood that starting a service-based business instead of a product-based business was the best option to pick. Because when you first get started in business or in anything in life, that is when you have the biggest learning curve ahead of you. This is also the time that you're going to make the most amount of mistakes. So Marcus wanted to find a service-based business with high profit margins, low operational costs, that he could start from his own home with just a laptop and a steady internet connection. So he picked consulting. However, it turns out that after all, Marcus isn't really willing to put in the necessary work or the necessary sacrifices in order to succeed. He finds himself hooked on instant gratification, swiping right and right on every profile he sees on Tinder, even if the girl that he sees isn't really his type. But I mean, hey, let's be real for a second. We all know what Marcus wants, and it's definitely not holding hands and watching the sunset go down with the stranger he met on Tinder. Marcus is also very distracted. His mind is a mess. He struggles to focus for even just 45 minutes in order to build his own business. He starts to tell his friends and family that he started a business so he's gonna get rich. Yet, the weeks are going by, the months are going by, and Marcus is still not generating a profit with his online business. So naturally, he starts to get discouraged. So what does he decide to do? To cope with his negative feelings, he decides to buy Tinder Premium and to go to the club more and more often. Fast forward a year down the road, Marcus had to go back to the same job he hated so much, and he failed his business. Now he lost confidence in himself, and other people don't really believe in him because hey, he said that he would succeed and yet nothing happened. Now let me ask you a very important question. Why did Marcus fail? So have you spotted the 3 main reasons why Marcus failed? You see, in this video, I'm not going to be lecturing you about buying $5 Starbucks coffees, because that is not the thing that is going to prevent you from becoming rich. The truth is that a lot of people who simply tell you to save every penny, those same people who tell you that heaven forbid you should never spend $5 on a Starbucks coffee, or that you should never go out to a nice restaurant and have fun, or buy a nice watch, or have a nice car. Those people are saying those things because they cannot afford them. But saving money never made anyone rich, and it certainly will not make you rich. I mean, think about it, there is only so much money that you can save. If you make $50,000 a year and you manage to save 20% of it, well, how much more are you going to be able to save? You can't save everything, and even if you managed to save 50% of what you make, I mean, it would be an incredible thing to do, but if you managed it, that money would not multiply. It would just accumulate over the years. And besides, you need money to live, you need money to buy food, to pay for gas, for electricity, for running water. Now, the first thing that you want to avoid if you want to become rich is talking too much. Imagine being a member of the royal court in England. Every other member of the royal court shares the same objective as you do, to gain as much power and as much wealth as possible. Back then, it was very known that people, especially powerful people who wanted to become even more powerful, were constantly scamming and plotting behind the backs of their adversaries. Well, what do you think would have happened to you in this kind of setting thing if you had the habit of talking too much, or if you talked about your motives and your ambitions without restraint. I'll tell you what would have happened to you. Your corpse would have been found stabbed to death in your own bed chambers. Same thing during the Cold War. If you were not careful with your words, the slightest wrong move could have gotten you killed. This is the reality of the world that we have been able to witness throughout the entire history of mankind. Now you may be wondering what any of this has to do with becoming rich, or why I'm even mentioning these things in the first place. Well, you see, when you start sharing your plans with people, especially when it comes to starting a business or getting in great shape or doing something that most people want as well, something that is deeply desirable, they will try to discourage you from pursuing greatness. Michael Jordan was told that he wasn't cut out to be a basketball player, and look what he became. Now, of course, some people, such as your parents, they may try to discourage you from starting your own online business. They'll tell you that it's too risky and that instead you should stick to a regular 9-to-5 job, that it's the safer route. And most of the time, it's not like your parents want to do you any harm. In fact, they just want to protect you. But you can go ahead and ask any successful person in business, in arts, in sports, in any field, and every single one of them will tell you without a second of hesitation that if they obtained the success that they have today, it's thanks to the risks that they were willing to take yesterday. But while some people will try to discourage you, to prevent you from taking any risks because they genuinely want to protect you, because they love you, this is not the case for everyone. The sad truth is that a lot of people are just secretly waiting for your downfall. A lot of people just don't want you to succeed. Because if you do succeed, think about it, it's gonna be a massive blow to their ego. Some people will feel inspired by your success, of course, but a lot of people, they're gonna be jealous because you will have been able to do what they have not been able to do. So they'll call you lucky, because that way they can just discredit all of your hard work and feel better about themselves and their failures, their lack of willingness to do whatever it takes to win. Losers will do whatever they can to stop winners from achieving big things, because hey, it makes them feel better about their own mediocrity. The other thing that you really want to avoid if you really want to become rich is low-level entertainment. Epictetus said, most of what passes for legitimate entertainment is inferior or foolish and only caters to or exploits people's weaknesses. Avoid being one of the mob who indulges in such pastimes. Your life is too short and you have important things to do. Be discriminating about what images and ideas you permit into your mind. If you don't yourself choose what thoughts and images you expose yourself to, someone else will, and their motives may not be the highest. You've probably heard me or other people say that if you want to obtain a life that 99% of people will never be able to obtain in their entire lifetime, you are going to need to be willing to do the things that only 1% of people are actually willing to do. And while this is true, the thing that you have to realize is that success is just as much about the things that you don't do than it is about the things that you do. Think about it, there is only so much energy and time that you have access to in a given day. And while we are not all equal when it comes to the amount of energy that we have on a daily basis, we all have the same 24 hours in a day or 7 days in a week. So if every single day you waste 3 hours of your precious time watching TV or shows or movies, playing video games, and on the weekend your screen time on your phone goes up to 7 or even 9 or even 10 hours, you are actively wasting a lot of valuable and precious time that you could instead put to good use and build your own online business and create for yourself that life that you have always dreamed of, whatever it looks like for you. Maybe you want to travel, maybe you want to drive fancy cars, maybe you want to go out to nice restaurants every day and never have to cook ever again. Maybe you just want to spoil your family and friends. The truth is that a lot of people use TV, social media, movies, video games as a way to cope with their day-to-day life that they hate. But the sad truth is that as long as you are coping, you are not moving forward. You are not making any progress. Believe it or not, but one of the main things that actually allowed me to build a successful online business was to stop sedating myself and distracting myself from the painful problems that I was facing. You will never find the exit of the maze if you always refuse to remove the blindfold that is covering your eyes. And just like if you want your body to be healthy, you need to make sure that you follow a healthy diet and that you exercise, that you sleep properly, that you regulate your stress levels, that you take care of yourself in general. If you want your mind to be sharp and clear, then you need to be very careful and very mindful of what information you consume. And like Epictetus said at the time, the people creating the entertainment don't have your best interests at heart. I mean, companies such as Facebook and Instagram, they literally hire scientists to use your own biology and your own psychology against you. They want you to be addicted to their products so that you keep consuming mindlessly again and again while they get rich off of your insecurities and of your deepest desires. Finally, the third thing that you want to avoid at all costs if you really want to become very rich and successful is what we call people pleasing. Do you tend to do what other people want you to do? Do you find yourself constantly doing things that you don't want to do just to please other people? Or worse, do you constantly seek external validation from other people? If you answered yes to these 3 questions, then you are officially a part of the People Pleasers Club. However, unlike the Ferrari Club, this is definitely not a club that you want to be a part of. People pleasers tend to do what everyone else wants them to do, but they never actually put themselves first and take the time to do all of the things that they genuinely want to do for themselves. These are the people that are going to go to med school just to make their parents feel proud, for instance. And in business, I can tell you for a fact that if all you do is try to get other people's validation constantly, it's like trying to run with leg cuffs. It's one hell of a challenge. If you're afraid of what other people are going to think or to say about you, then remind yourself of this quote. If you haven't pissed off someone by noon, then you're probably not making any money. The truth is that if you want to become successful in business, the first thing is that you need to realize that not everyone is going to like you, and you have to be okay with that. And then you have to be willing to go out and to confront the market. This is how you take what you want, because no one will give it to you. Well done for making it this far in the video. Comment down below abundance so that other people wonder what's going on and why you're saying this. If you want to start your own online business, I invite you to check out the other videos on the channel. And with that said, I will see you on the other side.